from Sewing Machine Warehouse in Penrith, Australia, and today I'd like to show you how to put in an invisible zipper. I get asked this all the time and it's the easiest thing to do. All you do need to have though is a concealed zipper foot. Now these feet are available on our website. What they have underneath are two hollow grooves that allow the zipper teeth to pass through them. Okay, so it's something that your regular zipper foot doesn't have. If you notice underneath, it's constructed very differently. Okay, so you will need that zipper foot though, as well as your concealed zipper foot, and you will do 5 rows of stitching in total. Very, very simple. Now, you will have to overlock the edges of your fabric before you put your zipper in. And the other important note is not to sew up the back seam, or wherever that zipper's going in. Do not sew the zipper seam up to, like a regular zipper, where you sew up to a point and you stop. This one remains apart. Okay, very, very important. Now, on your invisible zipper, it will come a set of instructions. Just throw them away because they're not really good and they can make for a bad zipper insertion. Now, always buy a zipper that's 5 to 10 centimeters longer than you require, because there are certain points where you do not use part of the zipper. So let's start by opening the zipper. Now the pull remains at the bottom of the zipper for most of the insertion, so we don't do it up until the very end. Now turn your zipper over so you'll have your right side of your fabric facing upwards. Place your zipper face down. Okay, so your zipper is upside down onto your fabric, and you will need to, you know that part at the top, the stopper, you will need to sew that bit out. So I start by actually making sure that it's on the end of my fabric. Now I don't pin necessarily, but for the purpose of the exercise I'll just put a pin in here. And I find it's easier if you just line the zipper up with the edge of your overlocking. Okay, now if you don't have an overlocker and you are sewing a normal overcasting stitch on your sewing machine, the same thing will apply. It's usually about 1/4 of an inch away from your normal edge. Okay, now I'm going to take off my regular sewing machine foot. So I'm just going to take that away and put on my regular zipper foot. Now we are going to sew alongside it. It's not going to be the proper seam, so it really doesn't matter where it goes, but I'm going to put it towards using the right hand side of the zipper foot. Okay, so I've clicked it on so it's on the right hand side of the zipper foot. And just place your zipper under the foot and just line it up. It doesn't really matter so long as you're stitching along on this tape and your needle is over to the, well, I've left it in the center. It's because my foot is sewing to the right that it's actually on the right hand side. Okay, now I have just a normal stitch length, even though this is a basting row, and I have put my tying off mechanism on my machine, so it will do a back stitch, and off we go. So just lining the zipper foot up with the edge of the teeth. And I just need to go a little slowly. Okay, so I'll just put my hands at the back to stabilise myself. This is why I don't pin, because it's not necessary. I can actually just fix the zipper up as I go. Okay, now coming to the end. Now remember, we do not pull the zipper pull up. So until you can't stitch any further. We're getting to that point now. So when your zipper foot hits the pull, stop and just reverse there. And cut your thread. Okay, so that's our first row. Can you see that? So this is not the permanent row, this is just to hold the zipper in place. Now you take your other side, right, and keeping your zipper upside down, just line the zipper tape up on the other side of your overlocking. And remember to keep that little bit of the plastic up the top there out of the way, and just pin that in, just holding it in place for yourself. Alright, now we have to change sides on our zipper foot, so we just click it off and just move it to the opposite side. And this time we might have to just move our needle across a little bit, not much, maybe 2 or 3 millimeters. Okay, and place your fabric and your zipper underneath the foot. And off you go again. Remember to put your hand at the back just to keep everything straight and taut. This could be in a longer stitch length if you want, but it doesn't really matter. You're not going to pull it out anyway. Remember, we do not do the zipper up, and just press your reverse button to tie off. Okay, so that's 2 done. So there's 2 rows done just there. Okay, now we take off our regular zipper foot and put on our concealed zipper foot. Now remember to put your needle back to the middle. If you don't do this, gone all the way right to the other side, sorry. Okay, if your needle's not in the center, you can't do this effectively, so it must be in the middle of your foot. Okay, now it doesn't really matter which side you do, because both the grooves are under the foot now, but you do have to unfurl your zipper teeth. So see how this curls out? See how the invisible zipper teeth roll in? Well, I need to roll it out, because we are going to stitch here in the groove. Okay, so unfurl it and try to get it under the foot. Once it's in the groove, now I'm talking about the 2 grooves that are underneath, so I've got it on the left hand groove. Can you see it in there? There's 2 little grooves. Okay, and off we go now. We're just going to start sewing, and the zipper foot will do the rest. So just be sure that you kind of keep your finger on the zipper teeth, and it will continually unroll as it sews. So keep sewing, just holding that roll of zipper teeth out. Okay, now we're nearing the end here. That's it. So that's your first proper row of stitching, and that actually is the third row of stitching. So that's the third row, and we will do this on the other side. Okay, now you don't have to change your needle position or your foot. Merely unfurl that zipper teeth roll and start sewing. So continue sewing as before. Just back stitch. Alright, now for the moment of truth. So you have both your sides stitched in. Alright, now at this point, if you can still see your zipper, all you need to do is do that second step again, just moving your needle slightly over towards the zipper pull, the zipper teeth. So see how there are your initial two rows of stitching. So when you stitch it again, you'll have one that's just further in, providing you move your needle towards the zipper. So I'll do that off camera and we'll come back to this spot again. Alright, okay, so now I've done that extra row of stitching. As you can see on the back, I moved my needle just a couple of millimeters extra, and this is the result. Now you can actually close your zipper. Whoops. And look at that. You can't see. So you must always remember never to iron your zipper flat. Okay, always leave that natural roll on the fabric. Now, this becomes the most difficult bit. What you need to do once your zipper is closed is try to pin your fabric from the zipper down, so you can then stitch your seam in place. Okay, so we're going to stitch now from the end point downwards. Okay, now for this, remove your conceal zipper foot and put your regular zipper foot back on so that you are stitching on the right hand side of that foot, and you need to move your needle as far out as you can get it. Okay, so I've just moved it And I will position it as I see fit once I get my fabric underneath. So you need to position your machine as close to that point as possible. So hand turn your needle so you can see that it's in the right spot, and I think I am. Okay, so these ends are from trimming. I will actually trim those so you can see better. Okay, so there's my needle starting position. Alright, now this is very important. Turn your stitch length down to about 1 millimeter. Okay, because we're not going to back stitch here. So turn that off, the back stitch, and we're going to sew forward from this point. Now just also take note of where that where your garment is positioned on your needle plates, because you're going to follow that line. Alright, so pull your zipper pull out a little bit and just keep your fingers on your fabric and stitch forward. Okay, now when you're away from that congested area, okay, you can actually just stitch from there. I'm going to remove the pins. I'm just keeping your fabric straight with that original position on your needle plate. Oh, and now you can put your stitch length back to normal. Sorry. So you complete your seam as normal. And I will back stitch here. And trim my thread. Now let's have a look. There you go. Okay, so then you just press your seam open. Obviously take it across to your ironing board. I'll just finger press that for the time being. Okay, now where you started stitching, if you can pull your thread to the one side, do so. I'll just see if I can pull that thread back. Sometimes it's difficult because you've lowered your stitch length. Wow, it's so small. Actually, I think I can do it. Oh, it's hard to see, isn't it? Never mind. If you can get it through, just tie it off in a little knot. If not, just trim it and leave the ends. Leave a little bit of the end there. Okay. Now, this loose bit that's flapping around like that, just put that under your machine again. And stitch forward from there, and just stitch to the end to hold those two ends down. Okay, so just do that, and that'll hold your ends down. So do that on both sides, and your zipper is actually finished. Okay, now with this bit, you will need to stitch the facing on or whatever. Don't cut those until your facing's on, because if you cut those, the zipper pull can fly off and you'll never get it back on. So leave those till you're ready to trim your seam allowances. Okay, so that's it for today. So for more information about what you saw today, just see our website. If you have any questions, just leave a message below. Check out our other videos. Don't forget to like, and subscribe. And so from all of us here at Sewing Machine Warehouse, happy sewing.
She's making faces.
The thing's